today's webinar is interesting, and we got an eminent speaker for this webinar also. And the topic is very close to what we do in FSSAI, especially our division, which is called SBCD. So today's session is on the theme Eat Right Station, inculcating hygiene and food safety through behavioral changes in public spaces. And to steer this session, we got Anuj Dayal sir, a well-known face in Delhi and across India also. So let me briefly introduce sir to the speaker, to the audience today. Sir is Principal Executive Director at Delhi Metro Railway Corporation, and sir is the Head of Corporate Communication for DMRC with over 35 years of experience in the field of management and communication. Sir has started his career with Indian Railways, after which he moved to Delhi Metro, where he has been part of the core team implementing expanding of metro rail network in Delhi. The corporate communication wing of the Delhi Metro under Sir has been recognized as Center of Excellence by the Japanese government to be emulated by other projects as well. Sir has received national awards for producing Best Promotional Film twice from the President of India on 2 occasions. He has also written books on project management, which have been appreciated by none other than Harvard Business Review, and uh, has prepared a case study on the same also. He has been closely associated with Indian Institute of Management, Ahmedabad, and the United Nations Development Programme in preparation of study on excellence in management. Sir has received award from PR Society of India as the best corporate communicator in India, the excellence in government, and the Dainik Bhaskar Group Award for being the most outstanding public relation head of the department in India. Sir has also selecting best communication professionals in India instituted by the Economic Time brand. A very warm welcome, sir. And with this, I invite our principal manager, Shri Siddharth Roy, to provide the context setting. And over to you, Siddharth, sir.
Thanks, Dayal. I hope I am audible. So, Sahil has already introduced Sir, and I have known Sir for more than 10 years now. Yes. Sir has been a mentor for communication professionals like us, and Sahil has already said he's a leading communication professional in the country. Now, coming back to the webinar, today's topic is Eat Right Station. It's one of the 6 initiatives we have in FSI as part of our Eat Right India movement. As part of this movement and this initiative in particular, we ensured that stations, railway stations and metro stations both, are serve food that is safe and hygienic. For which there are 2 ways. There's a capacity building program. So we undertakers, food handlers at the stations, and there's auditing done of the premises as per a checklist that is provided by FSSAI. Post that, certification is done. So there are quite a few number of Delhi metro stations that are also part of this initiative, apart from other metros in the country. Now coming back to why Sir is representing, of course, the DMRC, but also why we wanted Sir to be a part of this webinar, is that what Sir has achieved in the last 20 years. Now Delhi Metro is a symbol of Delhi for most people in the country. And brand DMRC is all thanks to Sir, mostly. What Sir has done in the last so many years. So I would like to know the secret for that, of course. And apart from that, what I know personally is that there are a lot of social and behavioral changes that Sir has introduced or has ensured that have been ensured in the country, in Delhi, sorry. And because the metro when it first came up, and as people who are from Delhi, they know that it came up in the north part of the city. And there were some challenges while it was coming up. Now, from then to now, what we see in Delhi Metro especially is that Delhiites especially, and even people visiting from other parts of the country, are at their best behavior when they are inside the metro system. As soon as they enter, till then, no one spits, no one throws garbage, they don't talk loudly mostly. So how Sir has ensured that? Because behavioral change is something that we are trying to get done in the context of food safety and hygiene. So two things, sir. First, of course, would be on how you ensure food safety in metro premises, because there are a lot of outlets in metro also, which are popular eateries as such, and how to bring about large-scale behavioral change in a population, be it Delhi or other cities. I think Delhi's model has been followed by other cities in the country also. So that's something we'd like to know from you. And over to you and Sahil. Sahil will pose the question this time.
Right.
And thanks so much. It's a great honor to have you, sir, with us.
Yeah, thank you so much for accepting our invite at the last minute, sir, and really honor your. And since I could see that questions are already being popped up in the chat box, sir, so the medium of communication will be, of course, English and Hindi also, because there are a lot of demand of Hindi. But we'll take some questions also in Hindi. Don't worry, and most of the attendees are on mute. You can ask your question in the chat box, and we will try to get as many questions possible to sir. So, sir, to begin with your illustrious career, sir, and you have been in public service for almost 3 decades. So, my question to you, sir, how do you see that change in the people's behavior towards food safety, hygiene, and especially at public spaces, sir? So, your take on it, sir. In last 30 years, how it has changed, sir?
First of all, thank you for inviting me for this webinar. And secondly, my apologies that it has started a bit late. I was delayed because of a meeting. So he's very, and Siddharth, his kind words. He's been associated with me for a long time. So we are good friends also, apart from being now in the same profession. And Delhi is a very difficult city to handle. That was the apprehension when we started the metro, because using the metro requires a lot of discipline, and it was something very new which was coming to the city, and it was very high tech. So we were very apprehensive whether the people will adapt to the system. And like Siddharth said, it started in a socio-economically slightly differential area in the eastern part of the city. So we were very apprehensive whether people will follow the proper cues, the discipline, the cleanliness, maintain hygiene. All those issues were there, and whether they would know how to use the system, because it's slightly complex. You have to, now it's okay for this generation, but I'm talking about 20, 25 years back. Escalators were not there in Delhi. Automatic gates were not there in Delhi. Automatic doors were not there in Delhi. So we organized a lot of nukkad nataks throughout the city, tried to explain to people that don't be scared of an escalator. It's just a bijli ka CD. Our communication used to be in Punjabi, in Hindi, in Urdu, in the gullies of Shadra Tisazari, where we started our sections. We deployed volunteers. Then gradually, as the metro expanded, today we are almost 400 kilometers long. The demand for other things came up. Number one, people wanted toilets, because a metro is like a bus. You don't have a toilet in a bus which runs from, say, Anand Vihar right up to Tilak Nagar, but there is no toilet. So the concept was basically the same in a metro. So we never planned for toilets, but as the demand kept on growing over the years, and finally now then we decided toilets would be provided at the stations. So you could, we have Sulabh Shauchalaya, or staff toilets are offered. So we have toilets at almost every station of the Delhi metro today. Second, it became a long transit facility where people could do something on the go. What is that something? Eating. Eating is something we wanted to keep the metro clean. So there's a bit of contradiction in that. So what we did, we said inside our metro coaches, we will not permit food. We don't permit. But in the non-paid areas, in the concourse areas, we started gradually introducing food outlets, which have gradually grown over a period of time. Now, metro has maintained a certain standard. We wanted the same standard to be maintained in our outlets also. And I must say, your organization has played a very big role in providing guidance in that, as far as maintaining standards is concerned. It is compulsory for any food outlet to follow the standards laid down by FSSAI. So we need certification. All the food outlets have been advised to take certification from your organization. Audits are also conducted. Your organization also, they do come. That's what I was told. And a certificate to that effect makes a lot of difference. So the audit and checking is done. Second, we don't allow people to have large cooking inside our premises. They have to bring the items in a semi-cooked form, and then they can probably use an electric heater or something like that, then the electrical system is properly geared up to handle the food outlets, because we are many times in underground stations, we don't want a fire situation. So proper MCBs have to be provided, copper wire has to be used in the electrical systems. Standards for this are all laid down in black and white over there. Proper meters are provided, and fire detection is also provided. Fire clearance is required. Surprise checks are also conducted by our staff to ensure that the quality of the food is proper and that the person is not littering, is keeping the area clean. Cleanliness is very important in the Delhi metro because we are catering to 6.5 to 7 million passengers every day. Now, each passenger, he brings in dust with his feet. So, cleanliness is something that we have to do around the clock. And people, when they eat a patty or a samosa or something, if he's having a paper plate, it must be disposed of in a proper dustbin. You should not carry and start eating inside the drains. So cleanliness is a major operation. Fire extinguishers are there everywhere. Proper hygiene has to be maintained, and the staff over there has to wear gloves, uniforms. These are our laid down standards, and they have to ensure that there is no sign of any rodent, any rodents, insects, or pests in the food. Pest control must be done by authorized agencies, and we want our staff to be trained by FSSAI. We have requested, I think you all have been providing some training to our outlets also. So it's a complete package which is done. I'll stop over here for the chat box. So if the questions, if there are, I will respond to them.
So questions have been plenty, sir, but never.
I had one question. It's a supplementary question from what you said. You mentioned that, and we have seen as metro commuters that the stations are always spick and span, very clean, and it's being mopped and cleaned. So is it a matter of investing money in keeping the stations clean, or is it about the work ethos? I mean, is how much you invest is important, or it's not about money? It's about the work ethos of the organization. That has to be changed.
Actually, it's a cycle. If you allow the area to become dirty, people will dirty it more. So it's a psychological cycle. We have not bothered about the money part as far as keeping the metro clean. We have 3 cleaning gangs working around the clock. In the night also, there's a lot of cleaning which goes on, heavy cleaning, deep cleaning. So we have the latest machinery also. So money we have kept secondary. Keeping it clean is most important.
Right, sir. So, sir, as you know, that steering unit like Delhi Metro, and that to become impeccable. Well, it itself, the project that Delhi Metro has done, and it has sustained over the years also and has been rightly been documented in the case study. But this large scale changes also required engagement of the community, sir. So because a lot of people need to come on board. So my question to you, sir, what is the role of community in this behavioral change exercise, and how can the community be involved to encourage any, if at all other metros or other government or say semi-government or any private organization has to emulate this model that Delhi Metro has done exceptionally well, how do they engage community, and what are the prerequisites for engaging community, sir? So we'd love to hear it from you.
A couple of things involved in this. Number one, at the construction stage itself, we would hold community interaction programs wherever we would start our construction. Our engineers used to go and interact with the local public. It was open house. They could come and they could ask questions for how long in their area would the construction go on, whether their houses would be disturbed during the construction, whether night working would be there. So they did not have to go to anybody else for redressal of their grievances. We were told these are the phone numbers. If you have any issue, I mean, whether their access roads would be blocked. So there was a 24-hour open line communication between our engineers and the local residents. So they started feeling that this is an organization which cares for the public. Because before that, you will find there was no barricading also at construction sites. We started that culture of safety. We started that culture of barricading. Before we used to dig up any road, we used to provide an alternative road. A scientific study used to be done. Care for the environment, care for the people around during the construction. That was something which our first MD, Dr. Sridharan, used to insist upon, that the public should not be inconvenienced. Because you see, The metro has been done in reverse. The city has been built, and now we are building the metro. So wherever we used to dig, we used to find what? Telephone lines, water lines, sewer lines, uh, everything. I can't disturb your water connection for even 1 minute. You will be, I mean, there will be crisis in the city, and we dug next to so many colonies, and we have dug near the parliament, we have dug near the bhavans. So we had to be very careful about utility diversion. So before we started our construction, we had to take a lot of care that the public is not inconvenienced during our construction, and this was highly appreciated by the public also.
Absolutely, sir. One thing that I've noticed that even the unruly crowd become disciplined once they enter the metro premises. So my question to you, sir, that since metro has been running for almost 2 decades in Delhi, I would say 3 decades rather, 2 decades, so I'm sure, and it had itself the identity of Delhi is now somehow linked to the Delhi metro also, and not in terms of the technology progress. Of course, technology has power, but in terms of the behavioral changes that happens with the passenger also. So I could see the passengers will not, they maintain hygiene, they maintain certain discipline also while entering the, while buying the ticket or getting their, metro card recharged. In fact, even entering inside. And what kind? I mean, I'm sure that it's not a one-day change. I'm sure a lot of effort has been put in by Delhi Metro. So I would request you to shed light on it, sir, because people who are unruly outside become so disciplined, and there is something that Delhi Metro has done, and which could be emulated at a large scale also, sir.
Actually, we have provided a good environment. You'll see people behave well inside. Say, if you go to see a movie in a PVR or something, it's air conditioned, the environment is good. Or if you go to a good restaurant, you find nice environment. So the metro, I have traveled in many metros abroad. Our metro is a modern metro, and it's one of the finest metros in every way possible. We have the latest technology, we have the latest systems. We were equally, what the apprehension that you are mentioning, we were also equally apprehensive whether the city of Delhi, which is known to be slightly, rough, because I used to travel as a student in DTC buses. We had no other option. Blue lines came later, but we had no other option. So we have never seen anything air conditioned ever as a student. And we have hung outside the buses and, jumped off buses. We have done all sorts of those trickery. For us, it was as a Delhiite, Siddharth will agree with me. I don't know whether you are also a Delhiite, but this was a dream come true. We couldn't even believe that such a lovely form of transport is available for the public, and such a safe form of transport. There's been no accident on the metro. So it's been a very, very safe journey. And I must say, I can't take full credit. There's something which is very difficult to explain and to define.
Yeah.
What we did was we provided the correct environment. We maintained the environment, because maintenance of this environment is very, very difficult. It's not easy maintaining a 400-kilometer network with so many stations and so many 6.5 million passengers coming every day. But we were able to maintain that environment, that environmental maintenance. It has made a psychological difference. Second, the metro has been treated very well by the media. Siddharth has been a key player in that. The news reporting which has been coming about the metro has been very good. Excellent. It was a dream come true for the people of the city. So there was a certain respect which was there in all the newspaper reports, which gradually changed the psyche of the people. They were looking forward in anticipation when we opened the first section. There was a feeling as if the first section itself will solve all of Delhi's problems. There was so much excitement. We had to take out an advertisement initially that all of you don't come together. We can't handle. We are here permanently. Come in stages. So that was the type of love and respect which people of Delhi showed us.
Right, sir. So the next question to you, sir, is that over 350 stations in Delhi Metro, across India rather, have been, including metros and Indian Railways, of course, have been certified at Eat Right stations, sir. Purpose of this Eat Right certification is to ensure that food served at metro station and railways are safe, hygienic, and safety. But it's not easy job to do. Because it requires auditing also, and the behavioral. It also requires behavioral changes in the heart and soul of the vendor also. So, your experience, sir, in terms of inculcating these habits in vendors and consumer as well, sir. Your experience with railway and metro in particular, sir.
We had to be slightly hard initially, and we used to find people. We used to find people on their behavior also initially. We used to counsel more than finding. We used to, I mean, our staff was so also, they used to treat metro as their personal, it was, they were part of the family. So they used to counsel people, what are you doing I mean, don't spit here, don't do like this. And the vendors also had to be counseled. Because vendors came with their own baggage. They would try to behave in the same way that they behaved outside. So there was a lot of counseling which was done at a very informal level. I am sure your organization has played a major role. Of course, I feel that your organization should be much bigger in size because the volumes that you all have to handle is not only metro. It's such a huge country. I don't know how you will manage so much.
Right, sir. So
I had sorry to interrupt, Sai.
No, please go
Since sir mentioned the country, so sir, DMRC has had a role to play in the coming up of metros in say Kochi or Jaipur, Lucknow, many parts of the country. So do you think like your communication strategy and plans work very well in Delhi, as we can see? So as you change the state and the language and the population, does the strategy change? Like I don't, you're not involved personally, but you must have counseled the teams there. And I also know a lot of people in these metros are from their DMRC trained personnel. So does the strategy or the communication plans these change? The way the context changes, or do you find any difference in that? Like say between Delhi and Lucknow or Patna or Kochi for that matter or Bengaluru.
Most of these metros which you are mentioning, they are much smaller in scale and size than Delhi metro. But whole metro is such a modern system. By and large, wherever I have traveled in India, I have found a similar type of cleanliness and similar type of discipline among the passengers. And even the kiosks which I've seen seem to be of a similar standard. So these standards have been maintained in India as far as metro is concerned.
Sir, and your experience of the case study, sir, we are very keen to know that the Harvard case study done on metro, sir. So did it only cover the project management part, or did it also talk about the behavioral changes, or can you shed some more light on the case study that Harvard done?
See, the government in phase one, we were actually initially it was phase one which was sanctioned. It was 55 kilometers and then it later became 65. And the government asked us to build it in 10 years.
Okay.
We built it on our own unilaterally. We changed the deadline. We didn't increase it. We decreased it. We made it 7 years to be completed. Phase one, 2 years, 9 months ahead of schedule within cost. And that is what made the world sit up. And we went in for new technology. Initially, what was recommended to us as engineers was, EMUs for the elevated, like in Bombay, the elevated corridors were supposed to have EMUs. And only underground was supposed to have closed doors. So we went in for very modern rolling stock. And the initial corridors, some of the corridors were not going to such good areas, which were driven totally on roads. For example, Rohini and Dwarka, they were not there in the initial project report in phase one. The metro was going to Halambi, Kalan and Nangloi. We got those changed also, as a result of which there was much more footfall on these lines and it became successful. Otherwise, possibly phase two, phase three and all may not have come because we may not have had so much passenger traffic on Halambi, Kalan and Nangloi routes because they already have existing Northern Railway tracks on those routes and people are very price sensitive. So some of these changes were very important in making the metro very successful.
So this was the case study, sir. Squeezing the timeline.
Actually, the case study was also on a very important factor because our first MD, Dr. Shri, led for 14 years from the front as the MD. The case study was on what made DMRC succeed in this environment. You see, in China has expanded in a big way. In Delhi, what happens, there are two aspects to building a project. One is the engineering aspect, technical. There are engineering solutions available world over, which can be used for tackling various issues like you have tunnel boring machines, you have new Austrian tunneling methods. We have built in Chowdi Bazaar where our foreign consultant said you cannot build a metro. We proved them wrong. We built it right in the heart. We changed the metro locations to such places. You see, the ring railway is not successful. It wasn't built for urban movement. It was built for as a goods avoiding line. Metro had to be designed and the stations had to be put in difficult areas for us. As constructors, we had to build it right below near Barakhamba Road station, We have to build it below buildings. We have to build it close to malls. We have to build it close, which means it's more difficulty for us. We are right next to Shastri Bhavan, Krishi Bhavan, Rail Bhavan. So we could have, if you go to barren areas, it's very easy to construct. But we chose the most difficult areas to construct the metro so that there is easy access for passengers. That is the reason why it has become so successful, the Delhi Metro.
Absolutely, sir. So anything that the Delhi Metro does is successful. So I've got a question, interesting question, sir. A pointed question to Delhi Metro, sir, and especially on enforcement part. And since your communication campaign has been fabulous, promoting people to not to eat inside not to bring food inside the metro and eat it, but people still carry food inside, sir, and they have been eating inside also. So the question is it difficult to enforce, well let down regulation in Delhi Metro, sir, and how difficult it has been for you to make it understand that why this instruction is given that not to carry the food, sir, inside the premises and not to eat it also.
We have CCTV cameras now inside our stations. If somebody complains to the driver, we have flying squads which come. We have provisions to fine people, but these are the punitive measures. What is required is self-discipline. We require culture. Like there's a big complaint now from people. People hear music, loud music, without putting on headphones. So that is become a major. In fact, I read an editorial in a paper about this. So they don't have concern for their fellow passenger about these sort of things. So there's a civic culture. You'll find people making all sorts of funny videos also on the metro, and many of them are indecent videos. We launch social media campaigns, but any campaign, it has its limitations. This is a thing which comes from the family, from your upbringing, from your, it comes from within. We have caught people. I mean, many times we have counseled them. We counseled their parents also at times. But it's a battle which not only Delhi Metro faces. All metros world over, they have these issues.
So right, sir, I could see that your digital campaigns, you have been pioneer in introducing new campaigns, the concept of new campaign in India also, sir, especially Delhi Metro. So I've got another question in the chat box, sir, and it's about the digital campaign which Delhi Metro has been doing. Are you doing any campaigns, sir, which also promote food safety and hygiene and eating nutritious food and reading label also? Do you do any such campaigns, sir, in Delhi Metro, especially?
And not specifically for food, but now that we're chatting, why not? Maybe we can talk about that. The food at the Delhi Metro stations, they're all properly certified by your organization, so the hygienic level is good. We can definitely do that.
So can you shed light on the many campaigns that you do? I mean, right from coloring of your coaches to putting a very distinct sticker on the coaches. Inside the coaches also, you could see very interesting and eye-catching, slogans and stickers. So how do you get these ideas, sir? And how successful your campaign has been, sir?
There are two aspects of this. There's one. Some campaign we launch as a social campaign on our own. And the second is that you see the metro.
Sumoto campaigns, sir, done by DMRC.
Sumoto. We ourselves, we have a team. We do that. But the second is that we have also allowed private players in the advertising sphere in the metro. And we have given them certain spaces. For example, the train wrapping which you are mentioning, that is given out on lease. We need all that extra revenue to supplement our passenger revenue. Because just passenger fares, our passenger fares, by the way, are among the lowest in the world. Among the lowest in the world. And to sustain, we're making an operating profit, but it's very difficult to make a net profit because we have to provide for depreciation. We have taken a huge loan from the Japanese government. So some campaigns are done by the private sector. Of course, they have a marketing intent also, which is fair enough. So it's a balance of both.
Because I talked about digital campaigns. So when the metro began in Delhi, my generation was transiting from buses to metro. And your generation has seen Tanga and everything. Sorry, no offense meant.
Tanga now, cannot place. There has to be this bullet motorcycle, which had those cages at the back.
So we have seen that transition. You definitely have. Now the new generation, the Gen Z, Now they are digital natives. They are born with the metro at sight.
Yeah.
We appreciate what we had and what we have now. So this generation, particularly the young generation, that's something we are also targeting. How does DMRC communicate with them? What clicks with them? What because their attention span is very low and they need things that are more said in a cool way. So how does DMRC transition from your earlier strategies to targeting the youth? Is there a special plan for that, or there's a way how you tackle that?
Earlier, the mix was different. It was basically newspapers which were running the show. So you would go in for advertisement campaigns. Now the mix has completely changed. The digital media plays a big role. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, they all are very big role. Probably influencers. I mean, you have to, now the mix is different. You have a mix which you control. You have a mix which others control. The pie is no more anybody's. Earlier it used to be print media, and then came radio, then came TV. TV also started, gradually. And so you have to play the entire mix. And we would not like to spend a lot of money on advertising. We don't, we keep those sort of budgets. So it's more through generating positive stories, positive inputs are provided to this mix of media, so that the mindset is affected. It takes time. It's a very gradual sort of a process. It's a constant process. I'm sure you must be playing, I mean, in the same board, because there must be so many organizations which you should be covering, which you're not able to cover just by the sheer volumes.
Now I'd like to draw your attention to the clarion call given by Honorable Prime Minister Ji on obesity. That's a very important subject that is affecting everyone. And since DMRC team has been doing exceptionally well, so how do you ensure that your own employee, your own officials and officers are healthy, fit, and how do you ensure that they are eating right kind of nutritious food, sir? The question is for your own officials.
This is part of our organizational culture from day one. We said there are 4 big parameters on which a DMRC employee should focus. One is he should upgrade his technical competence, because this technology was not available when we came. So he should be technically very competent. Second, he should be absolutely punctual, because if he is not punctual to office, he will not deliver his project on time. Third, there was a spiritual element involved. And fourth, yoga, the health element. We taught yoga to all our employees in our training school. We have our own training school. Yoga is taught to all the employees, and they are encouraged to continue with yoga. Healthy body, healthy mind, both are equally important, and this is part of DMRC culture.
And the second part of that question, supplementary question, is, sir, can you please shed light on this important topic on obesity, sir, and what is your view on this?
Obesity.
Yes, sir. Obesity. Yes, sir. And in fact, world over, in fact, day before yesterday, UNICEF has also come up with a report stating that obesity in children has overtaken underweight, undernutrition. So your take on it, sir?
I think you guys would be better experts on that than me, as I can just speak as a general person.
Yeah.
I think oils are playing a major role. I mean, my doctor friends and all, many of them saying just stop using refined oil completely. The type of food that we Indians eat, we have a lot of heart attacks, we have diabetes, the type of sweets and foods and the variety of food which is so yummy, all that is very yummy, all right, but not good for our health. Then third is very important. You will find in your parks, it is the same group of people coming every day for a morning walk. I used to be a player earlier, squash player. It was the same 50-60 people who used to come to that complex to play. The rest of them were sleeping. I mean, it was, that culture has to come of, exercise. That culture has to come of discipline. That culture has to come. That's very important. Plus, of course, I think a lot of calmness is required now, because blood pressure and all does tend to increase. So meditation is very easy to say, not so easy to do. Keeping good company is, I feel, very important to keep a balance.
Right, sir. And probably the last question of the day today, and then we'll take some questions from the chat box, sir. The question is, FSSAI is doing a large-scale social and behavioral changes to inculcate healthy habit of eating, and DMRC has already done some commendable work in nudging the behavior of the commuters. So, do you see any possible opportunity to collaborate, sir? FSSAI and DMRC can come together and steer a change which could be long lasting?
We are absolutely open. You're most welcome to come with some ideas. We can have meetings. Maybe we can come up something. Maybe we can jointly communicate. If you all have certified all our vendors, I mean, it should be the cleanest type of food available in the city. I'm sure our vendors will also benefit by that. Absolutely, we are open.
Yeah. So coming to the vendors, sir, it's very important. It's really important for vendors to undergo our fast track training, which is a training which certify them to, to become the food handler, sir. How often you organize training for your own employee, also for vendors, sir? Not only on food safety, but other training also, as you said that some pillars which are required for DMRC employee with technical competencies, spiritual, and of course.
We do encourage training. I don't remember offhand because it's a different, it's a department which handles it. I'll have to cross check how many they have trained already. But it requires. I mean, their target should be to train everybody. So definitely we can work on it.
Right, sir. So I think for the participant, those who are yet to ask questions, you can still ask your question in the chat box. I could see a lot of people have raised their hand. They do not know that we cannot allow them to unmute themselves. And so you can ask your question in the chat box. Maybe we can take one or two questions in the chat box. So one is, sir, of course, not related to our area, but let me ask you. Somebody is asking, earphone should be mandatory and compulsory while traveling in the Delhi metro because people have been playing, their videos in the metro affecting others' privacy. So, would you like to take this?
Well, I do agree, but then there's no law which actually says that it has to be compulsory. These are civic things which civic people should understand, civic behavior. We have laws about causing nuisance and there are fines.
Right, sir. So, anything from your sir, Siddharth sir? Would like to ask anything?
It's always been great listening to sir. Sir, one thing just came to my mind, like on this noise part. I myself a victim of hearing people playing loud music and whatnot, reels and etc. while during my commute. So, do you think apart from what you can do as an enforcer, the fellow commuters, people traveling in the metro, can they also be ambassadors of good behavior? Like say for example, I find it very obnoxious that people are listening it at high volume. So if I tell them that it's wrong behavior in a polite, gentle way, that could you please keep the volume down. Usually people keep to themselves, they don't intervene. But do you think it's the community can also play a part, like fellow commuters, and they can intervene and get the right message across, be your ambassador in a way?
Absolutely. If the community comes forward and helps us, we'll be happy. In fact, we had tried to have volunteers, metro volunteers who would counsel people. And we did try it for some time, but gradually we found it's very difficult to implement. And since, I mean, you're a Delhiite, you would be doing it and you would be also slightly apprehensive how the person will react to you. So you have to be prepared for that also. But yes, definitely, it needs a community sort of a reaction. 4 or 5 people together, they should tell that person to, like I've seen in PVR cinemas. It was quite irritating earlier when we used to go for movies. People, talking on the mobile phone very comfortably in loud volume while the movie is going on. PVR has taken out some beautiful advertisements which send the message very clearly. 2 things. One is about this mobile phone business. They have communicated beautifully. Second is for what people resting their legs on other people's seats. So it requires communication. That communication has to go through into the minds of the people. And it does require a very big communication effort. We not given up. We'll work on it.
Right, sir. So many feathers in your cap, sir, and many great feats have been achieved by Delhi Metro, sir. So what is next? What is the way forward for Delhi Metro, sir?
So we are building much more. Another 112 kilometers is under construction. Our aim is that the metro should be within walking distance of every house.
Every house.
See, Delhi is so big now. It's not only Delhi. It's the NCR. Ghaziabad is there. Noida is there. Faridabad is there. Vallabhgarh is there. Corners are connected, but in between the lines there is a gap. So my house is 2.5 kilometers on 2 lines. I would like it to be 500 meters so that I can just walk in. But it's a big city. We are working on it. We are working on it very well. I would say very hard, very fast, because we are a country in which there are so many issues. We have to take into account we have to take so many approvals. It's not easy, but I'm glad that the metro has come. city is surviving because of the metro. The pollution levels otherwise would have been, and the traffic jam level, which is still there, it would have been unmanageable if the metro had not come. And I would appreciate the commuters. By and large, they are quite disciplined on the metro.
So
Only one thing. They should allow people to get down first before boarding. This unnecessary pushing, shoving is not going to help anybody. That is something which is very, very important.
So I'm tempted to ask one last question. It's a personal one. Like, despite your busy schedule and meetings and managing this entire work, I know that you go for sports. You are amazingly fit for your age, and you are a voracious reader. How do you manage all that? We can't. We are unable to do that.
Yeah, I'll see. Our metro, frankly, has been built in a 9 to 5:30 environment. Dr. Shri was the first MD. He used to come to office at 4:45 and he used to leave at 5:30. The second MD, Dr. Mangu Singh, he followed the same routine. The third MD follows the same routine. Only thing is that our meetings are scheduled a 30-minute meeting. It will start absolutely on time, finish on time. So the next person doesn't have to wait. 9 to 5:30, 8 hours of concentrated work if you're doing, that is enough. You just sitting late in the night and all that, many times it's unproductive. If it's required as an emergency, it's another matter. So we followed a 5-day work pattern, 9 to 5:30. On Saturday, it used to be an inspection day. The MD and the officers and staff used to be on the site. And remaining mobiles are available in case of any crisis. This was enough to deliver the goods. It's not as if, of course, decision making in our organization is very fast, very fast. You get a yes or a no within 24 hours.
So the recipe is revealed, sir. The decision making and 9 to 5 work-life balance. Nevertheless, sir, I think we could see a lot of
work-life balance was very well maintained in DMRC. That Siddharth is asking, how do I get the time? That was the reason.
A lot can be learned. We can learn a lot from Delhi.
But a lot depends on the leader. You see, if the leader starts sitting very, very late and all, then the others also follow suit, and the next day you're tired. So your productivity tends to go down, in fact. Doesn't increase. That's my feeling.
So now I'm tempted to take this last question. It's a very interesting question, and that woman has been asking me, please ask this question to sir. And the question is, sir, along with ensuring food safety, can metro station also promote public health campaigns? You already said you have been doing some sumoto campaigns also. For example, displaying messages like calories burned while taking stairs encourage healthy habit. In fact, I've seen your very interesting that you have put on a calorie count on your stairs.
Yeah, we do that. We encourage, we have made many campaigns asking youngsters at least to take the stairs, avoid taking the lifts, leave the lifts for the elderly. And if you are using the metro, you have to be healthy, to be quite honest, because there is a certain amount of walking involved when you have to go through the entry point, you have to go to the concourse, you have to reach the platform. So there's a certain amount of, definitely there's a certain amount of walking which is involved in using the metro.
Great, sir. So thank you so much, sir. And with this, I think we can call it a day, sir. And the very purpose of this webinar that we have been doing for last 25 weeks is to create awareness among common people on the important subject of food safety, hygiene, nutrition, and related subjects, sir. And we have been calling people from all walks of life. And it was really honored to have you today, sir, for the 25th edition of Ayushman Bhava webinar series, sir. And that too on a very short notice. And if you could look at the questions, sir, every 10 seconds I get a question for you, sir, but we can't take all the questions. And I'm thankful to my principal manager for getting your time for this webinar, sir, and everyone in FSSAI, sir, because to conduct webinar itself requires a lot of coordination. And,
I'm sure.
Yeah. My thanks to all the attendees also. From their busy schedule, they could spare out their time and they attended this. Over 300 people are attending this webinar, sir. And thank you once again, sir. And as I said, a lot to learn from you, sir. And we look forward to future collaboration. FSSAI and Delhi Metro come together for a campaign, something to some.
In fact, if you can give me a recording of this, I will circulate it within our own department so that the awareness goes up further.
Sure.
Right, sir. So thank you so much, sir, once again, sir. And we look forward to inviting you for the other webinar and also in person if you could come and address our officers also, sir. And with this, we'll call it a day. And you have a safe and a great day ahead, sir. With this, we'll call it a day. Thank you, IT. Thank you, everyone, for attending this webinar, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.